to achieve that sort of community takes a little work, right? To
Oh,
achieve a community.
little.
Right?
You've been
So
a part
what
of it
we've
since
done
day
at
one.
Carlson, which is interesting, is that we've achieved a culture. We've sort of created a community that totally understands the support system.
Yeah.
And will buy into it because it understands it's a return as well as give, because
Right.
you're getting so much from it, and which has not been easy to create.
No. I mean, it's been easy, but it's been it's been a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know, that kind of seems like a double negative or double positive.
When we've been able to do it and find the right people and realize that that's all we needed to do was add more great people into the mix that we're going to add to the whole.
You mentioned the culture too. I mean, when we defined the culture, it makes it when anyone defines a culture, it makes it that much easier for people to understand what you're all about.
Right.
And that way, people who are like-minded can buy in immediately. And get value out of what you have to offer.
Right.
You know, the other co-working spaces, a lot of other co-working spaces, they're space.
Right.
And I get that, and it's also it's totally cool that there are different co-working spaces
Right.
for different kinds of people. You know, we talk about it like there's a reason why there's different churches.
Right.
Right. Like, I'm not saying we're a church, but
Right.
there's.
Well, I think our
community.
aspiration was higher because we saw the need for entrepreneurs, like while we're doing this, the need for entrepreneurs to be lifted up and supported, because we wanted to create a place where that was going to happen.
Right.
We knew how hard it was, and we wanted to create a place
Yeah.
that people could go to for the things that they need.
And support.
Yeah,
You know, you
yeah.
bounce an idea off of somebody. Then the other neat thing about this place is that there's people in all different industries.
Yeah.
So you might get feedback from somebody, you know, if you're a filmmaker, you might get an idea from somebody who's in a not-for-profit organization teaching at a school.
Right.
You know, so the blend is amazing. It's just that like-mindedness.
Carlson Cowork, what I thought was really interesting was one of our members, Nick, actually put together a matrix of connections that he has made here, and it's this sort of spider web of stuff. But I think in a sense that's the ROI, because what that shows is you're not just coming into a community where people are going to be nice to you and talk to you sometimes. You are coming into a community where you will work in some sense with all these people that are there, or at least work with them to a sense that they will teach you, and you can understand all these different things that they're doing.
Right.
So that's an incredible value. What he was doing.
I mean, that shows the organic growth that can happen in a place like this, you know, where you meet somebody over a cup of coffee here in the cafe, or someone comes in for a presentation and you make a connection with them, or someone who sits next to you might say, oh, you do that? Well, I know this person from outside that does it. Or, hey, my business, I'm really struggling with XYZ, and you know, the member across the room says, hey, I overheard you talking about this, and I have a resource or so that web that happens organically, and I really like stress that, is that nothing is forced.
Right.
You know, there are different groups that you can go to and buy into a membership, and you go and you give your 5-minute talk about your company, and then you hand out 50 business cards, and then, you know, it's not that kind of place. Right. It's like the first question that I like to ask people is, you know, how's it going? And new people, where are you from? Not like, hey,
it's a social.
How do I get business from you? You know,
do you have any
do you have a website, or do you have a brand? Do you need a brand? You know, I think that's not how it starts. You know, but then a week later, the person comes up to me and says, hey, I'm really like, I need a brand. That happened last week to me.
But do you think that's sort of the future sense of business, in that we need to be in supportive atmospheres of like, it's sort of a life-work balance as well. It's like, I like all the people at Carlson.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So it's like, I love coming here, and I know you do too. So is it more so we're creating a work environment that's different now than the ones that were before, because it is more familiar, it's more like social, it's more...
Yeah, all those things.
Which is great, which is maybe why the next generation coming up has embraced it, because maybe that is the work environment that they want. Or
I think again, it comes back to human nature.
Yeah.
People really thrive off of being together with other like-minded people in a support network. As far as the future of business, like, I think this
it's not
is
going to go away.
But the thing about a place like this is that people can use it for whatever they need it for.
Right.
We're not telling you this is your
Stop
office.
doing something else.
Stop. Like, be yourself. I mean, Kurt, like, he says it's about family, and those, like, the potluck dinners that we have, that's huge for him, and I feel that too, but I do business here, and so there's different elements that are totally pulled in. Matt Sweeney, we did this webinar last week, and he said being at Carlson is like having a home, like business home,
right?
And he, rather than work from home and blur those lines, you've got these different spaces, but it's not just like it's a work space,
right?
It's a work home. But
as an entrepreneur, he was able to find a work-life balance because Carlson helped with that,
right? But on top of that, he also found that there's a family here. I mean, when we use the word home, that's a strong word. That's not, I have a workspace or work office, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
I think, if that's the thing that we're doing here, I feel that we're doing something important.
Yeah.
It's not just work, it's not just home, it's a combination of a lot of
It's
stuff.
your tool, it's your resource, it's your support network, whatever that means to you.
That creates that sort of support that will allow you to do maybe something amazing.
The web is cool too, because it talks about the capitalism part, the actual making money.
Yeah.
Like, I've been here for less than a year. Well, around a year, right?
Yeah.
You have too.
A year.
And I have tripled my business. It's a 6-figure business now, and that's amazing. And I don't think there are coincidences that I'm making these connections and being fueled by others and supported and encouraged and all these awesome things.
It is.
And some of the monies that includes has been exchanged through members here, like working with different companies that are in this. But it all comes about because of those relationships.
Right.
I talked about, you mentioned it for my own business. So there's no coincidence that like there's relationships formed in both. We play such a role in this place as well. So.